There hasn't been a lot of talk about Monster Hunter 6, so I'll mention some things I want to see in the next game. I won't be talking about things like underwater, returning monsters, or even difficulty. I'll mention some things that I don't often hear about, starting with VIPorium Trade. This is one I've mentioned before, but think about it. If there's a monster you want to return in the next game and it doesn't, wouldn't you want to have access to its gear at the very least? I certainly would, and it would be a shame in my opinion if the devs didn't bring it back, because there are still monsters that I as well as many people want to be brought back. Having the VIPorium Trade would at least give players what they want even if it's not the actual monster. The next thing I want is a Thunder Element Brute Wyvern that isn't Fulgur Anjanath. I love Fulgur, but he's a subspecies that won't likely come back, not to mention his allergy problem. Because of this, I would love to see a Brute Wyvern that uses lightning powers, but has a more sleek design like Valstrax or Astalos, and would be based on the Allosaurus, which if you couldn't tell is my favorite dinosaur. It would of course need something to make it stand out from all the other thunder monsters, like powering up its claws with electricity, or making the monster itself agile, which I think would be unique because there currently isn't a Brute Wyvern that has much agility, is there? Well, aside from the huge jumps and maybe Glavenus. Besides, if Bolt Reaver can't return in the next game, then a new monster with these features will do. I really want a mechanic where you can create custom quests and share them online, kinda like with Mario Maker, or a more unofficial example, the quest editor for 4 Ultimate. I know we have investigations, but they give random quests that aren't customizable. The reason I want this feature is because it would allow people to get creative with their quest lines, and even create stories and challenges for players to experience. The possibilities would be endless, and it would make for great content for you guys to watch. The last thing I want for the next game, and possibly my most requested one, a cinematic mode. I have to be honest, it's really hard to take cinematic shots or even screenshots of monsters or action sequences in Monster Hunter games. The camera modes in both World and Rise are very limited and make it very hard to get the shots you need for a video or a thumbnail, especially when a monster is targeting you and is constantly knocking you out of view mode. So for us content creators, I want a feature that allows us to watch our hunts back and move around with a camera freely for cinematic shots. A pause feature would be good too for lining up the camera to get screenshots. While waiting for the next video, I recommend watching this one on my main channel. I'm sure you'll find it interesting.